You've probably seen of them, or heard about them, or even worn them. But you're probably thinking to yourself, what could I possibly be talking about? I'm actually talking about acrylic nails. Acrylic nails have been here ever since 1945. But have you ever wondered how they're made? Well, today I'm going to be giving you a free set and I'm going to be teaching you how to do acrylic nails. But before you walk into my nail salon, let's go over about the things I will be teaching you. The first thing I will be going over as you sit in our comfortable chairs is how to prep the nail. And as you start to feel excited, I will be teaching you how to put the acrylic on the nail. And lastly, I will be teaching you about the benefits of acrylic nails. Come on in and relax. Do not be frightened by the tools I have in front of me. These tools are all necessary in order to prep the nail perfectly for the acrylic nail. You will be needing your cuticle pusher, acrylic tips, nail glue, and filers, nail clippers, and a duster. The most important tools here are probably the cuticle pusher and the nail filers. According to Anderton, if the oil of the nail isn't removed in the cuticle, this can actually lead to the acrylic powder not wanting to stick to the actual nail. Which, if you take a look at your nails right now, you can actually see the oil, which is the shine of the nail. So once you've got this removed, you can begin to get your acrylic tips ready and place them. You want to be sure that the acrylic tips aren't too big or aren't too small. For example, this is way too big because as you can see, the acrylic touches the skin of, let's say, a person. And this is what it should look like once you have it all glued on. So now that you find your perfect tip, you want to be sure to only place the glue at the tip of the nail. So place your glue, and then you want to press it down, facing downwards. Make sure it's not crooked. And hold and blow for 10 seconds. Once you feel like it's on there pretty tight, you can feel free to let go. Now it's time to file. You want to file to blend the acrylic tip, plastic tip, to the nail, which will end up looking like this. Be sure not to file a lot because this can actually lead to it falling off or breaking. Let's take a dip into the fun part. This part is my most favorite part, but it's a little complicated. The first thing you want to do before even placing your acrylic powder is you're going to want to get your things ready. So you're going to be needing a primer, a top coat, your monomer, a brush, and acrylic powder, and a napkin. You want to be sure that before even starting this whole process, you place your brush into the monomer. Because the reason I do this is to make sure that the brush isn't hard like this, which you can't even use this at all. So you want to go ahead and put your primer on the nail. You want to be sure that it's nice and dry and ready to go. So once it's nice and dry and ready to go, you can begin the acrylic process. So you want to begin to push the sides of the brush on the glass like this to remove the monomer. Then you want to go ahead and grab your acrylic powder and dip it at a 45-degree angle and hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2. For example, this would be way too much for a short nail, but this would be perfect for a long nail. So keep in mind, the more monomer you have, the more acrylic you would get. And the less monomer you have, the less acrylic you will get for your nail. So now I'm going to be teaching you how to place the bead on the actual nail. You want to begin by placing the bead but where the acrylic tip and the actual nail meet. Then you just want to work your way down, patting it down like this. Don't ever drag the bead. Let the bead do its thing. Then you want to place another bead on where you started, but this time working your way up into the cuticle area like this. That way you do not flood the cuticle area. Now that you have your acrylic powder placed on the nail, you can wait for it to dry. As we wait for it to dry, let's go over the benefits of acrylic nails to you. Acrylic nails came into play, according to Kramer, because of a dentist actually, who one day broke his nail and decided to place it with an artificial one. Of course, nowadays we sometimes do see this, but we see acrylic nails to help express who we are and treat ourselves. For example, we use acrylic nails on birthdays, weddings, quinceañeras, and holidays. But if you don't like acrylic nails, that's okay. You can always go for short nails, single color set nails, which are always simple but cute. But if you're like me who loves extra nails, you can always go for extra long nails, designs on nails, and jewelry on nails. The nail I'm doing here today is more of a simple nail, as you can see. But as I said, simple but cute. So now that the acrylic is finally dry, which you can tell by placing your brush and tapping it like this. If you hear that sound, that means it's ready to go. So now that you make sure it's hard, you want to begin to file. This is my favorite process, but you have to be very careful to not cut yourself. You basically just want to go under the nail, over the nail, in the cuticle area, and then you want to do the sides. Once you have that done, you can begin to place your top coat. So now for the top coat. But first, go wash your hands because that's very important. As you now washed your hands, and I'm finishing up here, I just want to thank you guys for wanting to learn about acrylic nails. And I did say this set would be free, but a tip wouldn't hurt, and it wouldn't hurt to come again. Thank you.